Welcome back to Living Local. Blood donation is evolving, and there's an exciting new way to make giving even easier.
And joining us now is Pete Lux, Vice President of Donor and Patient Services, and Kirby Winn, Public Relations Manager at ImpactLife, which is also this segment sponsor. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, Kirby, let's start with you. How is the blood donation experience changing in our area?
We're glad to tell donors when you come to give blood, we're not going to take a finger prick any longer.
Okay, that's big news.
That's right, yeah.
That is
Pre-donation
big news.
screening is going bloodless.
Oh, bloodless. I like that.
Pre-donation.
So tell us about this new machine that you brought along with you today.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
what does it do and how does it work?
We are implementing what's called ORSense device, and it is a technology that will read hemoglobin without having a direct blood sample. It shines light through your skin and then detects the amount of hemoglobin and gives us a result. It takes about 1 minute. I'm happy to demonstrate it if you'd like to see it.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
So
my blood's
I'll be the
bad.
dummy.
So you go
generally
ahead.
you would have the donor sit down. So
Okay,
we're
but
going to
I'm
have her
gonna
stand,
Okay.
and then the device simply goes onto her thumb, the sensor, I mean, like so. Close it up.
Okay.
And then on the front here, we're going to push start.
We say this gives your thumb a little hug. It's a
Yeah.
warm embrace from
Yeah.
the ORSense device.
No prick.
Select the sex of
It's
the
like getting
donor.
your, it's
and
like getting
then-
your blood pressure.
Right. It pumps up a little cuff in there, stops the blood flow, takes a reading, does that 5 times over 1 minute, and then it will give us the result.
Now what this is replacing, we used to put a lancet up against your fingertip, and that it was spring-loaded, and it would force a drop of blood out, and we would drip that into a machine that would
Yep.
take
Yeah.
a similar kind of reading, also using this light technology that's contained inside the cuff.
Yeah, it's very similar to technology to what we were using before. And the feedback from the donors has been tremendous. They all love it. And I do want to point out, though, that the collection staff who use this device, they absolutely love it as well. We're using no supplies at all to take this reading. Whereas
Yeah.
before there were gloves, there were cuvettes, there were lancets, and it was a mess and quite a bit of plastic. So environmentally speaking, we've actually, once we are fully implemented across all collection areas, we will use about 4.5 tons of less plastic. We'll no longer be using that. Most of which has to be discarded as medical waste. So it really does have a huge impact for the environment as well as donors. And donors are apprehensive about coming in, and a lot of them say that it's due to the finger stick. So that excuse will no longer be valid. So they'll have to dig in and find something else.
Was it painful
So
at
we're
all?
No,
done
it's
here.
not painful at all.
And let's see.
Let's see how Brandon's
Yeah.
doing here, Pete.
I think it says 15.
Yeah, it's 13.5.
13.5.
She's in range.
So that for a female, the minimum is 12.5, so you meet the hemoglobin levels.
Okay.
And we look for that minimum hemoglobin level so that it's not detrimental for the donor to donate. Plus, we want to make sure that the amount of hemoglobin in the collected unit is high enough to be therapeutic. So if you were low, it's really twofold to make sure the donor remains safe and the patient is having that therapeutic dose of hemoglobin.
Yeah,
So
we're
I'm
not-
in that safe
So
zone.
you're done.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
So
doing
you
okay.
just take it apart and you're done.
So this,
go to the next donor.
So this innovation is really helping ease kind of the minds of the patients. Like you said,
Yeah.
they can't use that as an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
And do you think this is going to increase your donations from people? Because
I think
the
it will
nerves are
help
gone, right?
increase donations. If they don't donate at all, perhaps the elimination of the finger stick will help bring them in. But if they do donate, maybe they'll donate more often.
Sure.
So, because they
Yeah.
don't have to get their finger stuck.
Yeah.
Marginally better than coming in and having to start your engagement as a blood donor with putting a small needle in your skin as we used to do before.
Yeah.
You save that for later.
That's
It's, you know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
it's still going to happen to fill the collection bag.
And so the reason the finger stick always was more painful is because all your nerves end right there in your fingertip.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas there's hardly any nerve endings right here in your skin.
Okay.
And I often volunteer for trainees to stick me as their first or second stick, and it is rare that it hurts. I mostly don't even feel the needle.
Yeah.
The needles have been designed in such a way that they're very comfortable.
Okay.
But I mean, as comfortable as a needle can
right,
be.
right,
It's just hard to do that
So-
a fingertip process.
But this technology is absolutely amazing. And
It
we are
is.
not the
Yeah.
first blood center to implement it. So it's exciting and that it's no longer invasive. The needle stick, I
Yeah.
think, is kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And our teams absolutely love it. If you sit down to do the finger stick that we had previously, it would take about 2.5 minutes to go from beginning to end to get the results, whereas
Right,
this takes
right.
about 1 minute.
Yeah, and you're not using the plastic
Right.
gloves
Right.
and the Band-Aids and all that stuff.
Very
You know,
good.
that's out the window.
Wow.
So talk to us about the current blood supply right now. Is there still a need for donors?
Every day
Always,
hospital,
right?
the groups that we work with, whether it's emergency medical services, hospitals are using blood every single day. That doesn't change. We're in a period where we want to always add new donors, fill our appointment schedules, and be strong for the holiday season that's ahead. And so, we're glad to have OrSense as a part of the, innovations and improvements always to that donation process. It is out at all of our mobile blood drives and all of our donor centers here in the Quad Cities region. And Pete and team are training staff in our other areas and getting it out across our entire map.
To add to what Kirby said, one thing to note, when we have a disaster that people want to come in and donate, it's great. I mean, we usually have a great turnout. People want to help, but it's the blood that was collected in the days before that disaster, when no one knew it was coming, that is saving people. So it's not only important that we donate after a disaster or some kind of incident, it's important that we just do it routinely so that we maintain that supply always available.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That is a good
Definitely.
point.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Well, gentlemen,
gentlemen, thank you so much for
guys.
coming in.
Yeah.
Very painless.
Yeah.
I'm still alive
Right.
and standing. So
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you again. And again, this segment was sponsored by ImpactLife. And for more information, you can go to bloodcenter.org.
And we'll have all those details posted at OurQuadCities.com.